A massive shockwave just hit Washington as lawmakers rushed through a new economic relief measure unofficially being called the Comeback Bill. And it's already creating a storm of reactions across the country because this proposal isn't a rumor, an opinion, or some social media exaggeration. It is a real, fast-moving federal package designed to send direct payments of up to $3,200 to millions of Americans who rely on SSI, SSDI, VA benefits, and low-income Social Security programs. Reports coming from Capitol Hill say the bill moved at lightning speed, much faster than analysts predicted, going from committee discussions to full approval in record time, and now it's heading straight into the implementation phase. The entire purpose of this legislation is to deliver immediate financial relief to seniors, disabled Americans, and individuals living on fixed incomes who have been struggling the most under the pressure of soaring grocery prices, energy bills, prescription costs, and the overall squeeze of inflation. What makes this bill stand out is that it isn't just a one-time political gesture. It's being described as part of a broader national framework called America's Financial Restoration Plan, an initiative shaped by economic advisors and lawmakers aiming to rebuild confidence in the economy from the ground up. The $3,200 amount wasn't random. It mirrors the earlier pandemic-era relief payments that helped millions stay afloat, and the designers of this bill believe a similar boost will once again stabilize household budgets during a period when everyday essentials feel more expensive than ever. Even though official inflation numbers have eased slightly, most families haven't seen real-life relief, and fixed-income Americans are still feeling the burden of monthly bills climbing higher than their benefits. That mounting pressure is why lawmakers pushed aggressively to pass this bill before the holiday season, arguing that people who depend on federal assistance need immediate help. Not more waiting, not more procedural delays, and certainly not more bureaucratic hurdles. And here's the truly rare part. The support behind the plan wasn't purely political. Moderate Democrats aligned with Republicans to get this moving quickly, saying that basic economic relief should never be restricted by party lines. The bill includes nearly $280 billion for direct payments, $40 billion to improve Social Security operations, and additional funding to reduce backlogs in both the SSA and VA systems, which means this isn't only about sending checks, it's about strengthening the infrastructure that delivers benefits. Treasury officials have already confirmed that payment information will be pulled automatically from existing government databases, meaning that most SSI, SSDI, and VA beneficiaries won't need to fill out a form or make any special request. The money will be sent directly through the same deposit method they already use for their monthly benefits, with the first wave of deposits potentially rolling out within weeks, possibly before Christmas, once the administrative coordination period ends. Early indicators show that the rollout may follow the same structure as regular payment cycles. SSI recipients may see the bonus arrive on the first of the month, SSDI beneficiaries will likely follow their usual birth date schedule, and veterans will receive theirs according to their existing deposit arrangements. While this is great news for millions, federal agencies are warning everyone to stay alert because scammers are already trying to exploit the situation by pretending to offer early access, pre-registration, or processing assistance. The government will never call, text, or email asking for personal details or fees to release a payment. Anything like that should be ignored immediately. For eligible beneficiaries, the only requirement right now is to log into their My Social Security account, confirm their banking and contact information, and ensure that no outdated details could delay their relief payment. Even though the bill is designed to deliver quick aid, anyone with recently updated bank details or who still receives paper checks might see their payments slightly later than others. But for millions of struggling Americans, especially seniors battling rising utility bills, disabled individuals managing medical costs, and families choosing between basic necessities, this $3,200 relief payment could be a turning point, giving them the breathing room they've desperately needed. Experts say the broader impact could boost consumer confidence heading into 2026, offering not just temporary assistance, but long-term economic benefits as increased spending circulates through local communities. With deposits potentially only a few weeks away, beneficiaries are being urged to stay informed, avoid misinformation, and prepare to monitor their accounts closely. This is only the beginning of the rollout, and officials are expected to release more specific payment dates soon, making this one of the most significant federal relief updates in years for Americans living on fixed incomes.
As the comeback bill moves toward implementation, the next major question every American is asking is who qualifies, how the payment structure works behind the scenes, and what steps people must take to ensure nothing delays their relief deposit. Because while the federal government is preparing to issue these checks automatically, the rollout process is extremely detailed and relies heavily on accurate beneficiary information already stored in government systems. According to early guidance released by Treasury analysts, the first priority group will be SSI and SSDI recipients, simply because these beneficiaries already have verified records, direct deposit setups, and active status within the Social Security Administration database, which allows the Treasury to send payments faster and with fewer manual checks. Veterans receiving VA disability compensation or pension payments are next in line, followed by low-income retirees and eligible taxpayers who earn below the federal income threshold, typically individuals making under $75,000 annually. However, the government has been very clear. The payment will not double for people receiving multiple benefits. Anyone receiving SSI and SSDI simultaneously will receive a single $3,200 deposit, not separate checks. This payment is also not taxable, it will not reduce regular monthly benefits, and it will not affect eligibility for Medicaid, SNAP, housing assistance, or any other federal aid program. The government is treating this relief as a one-time crisis response tool, meaning it falls outside normal taxable income categories, giving beneficiaries full access to the money without fear of deductions or adjustments. Federal agencies say the rollout could begin as early as late November or early December, with most recipients seeing deposits according to their usual payment schedule, SSI on the 1st, SSDI based on birth date, and VA benefits following their existing monthly pattern. The only people who might experience delays are those who recently changed banks, had a closed account, updated their address, or still receive physical checks in the mail.
Mailed payments always require extra verification steps and often encounter holiday season slowdowns. That's why officials are urging everyone to log into their My Social Security account and confirm that their personal information is correct. Even a small typo or outdated bank account can cause the payment to bounce back to the Treasury and trigger weeks of extra processing time. Alongside this, Treasury has issued warnings about the rise of fraudulent messages circulating online, especially on social media platforms, where users are being promised early access or told to register through third-party links. These scams typically ask for Social Security numbers, bank information, or processing fees, none of which are part of the official process. The government will never request money or sensitive information to approve or release relief payments, and any communication claiming otherwise should be ignored immediately. For millions of Americans living on the edge of financial strain, the timing of this relief is critical. Seniors on fixed incomes are battling rising heating costs as winter approaches. Disabled individuals are managing medical expenses that climb higher each year. Families receiving SSI for children face growing grocery bills and basic living costs that stretch their budgets painfully thin. The $3,200 payment could help many catch up on overdue balances, refill prescriptions, manage winter utilities, and ensure they aren't forced to choose between essential needs. Economic advisors believe this relief injection could stabilize spending power during the holiday season, traditionally a period when many households face the harshest financial challenges. The comeback bill is designed not only to help individuals, but also to stimulate local economies, especially small towns and mid-sized communities where extra consumer spending has an immediate impact. When individuals have a bit more financial breathing room, they spend more on local groceries, pharmacies, transportation, and everyday services, which in turn supports businesses still recovering from years of economic instability. The ripple effect of this payment could stretch well beyond a single deposit, boosting economic confidence as the country moves into 2026. Behind the scenes,
The Social Security Administration and the Treasury are working overtime to synchronize databases, verify active accounts, and run system-wide tests to ensure the payment rollout is smooth. This administrative phase is essential because millions of transactions must be processed simultaneously, and any system errors could lead to widespread delays. Internal teams are updating routing protocols, checking for duplicate accounts, and scanning for inconsistencies that might pause a payment for manual review. The agencies want to avoid the issues seen in earlier relief programs, where millions of checks were delayed due to outdated banking information or suspended accounts. The goal this time is far more streamlined. Get the money out quickly, accurately, and without confusion. For recipients, staying informed is crucial. Anyone unsure about their status can log in to SSA.gov, check their benefit details, ensure their direct deposit is active, and monitor official updates. The SSA will post announcements as soon as final payment schedules are confirmed, and Treasury.gov will publish payment timelines once coordination is complete. Beneficiaries should not rely on social media rumors, YouTube claims, or private blogs. Official government updates are the only accurate source. As payment day approaches, millions will be refreshing their accounts, watching carefully for the deposit that could temporarily ease months of financial pressure. More updates are expected soon, and as agencies finalize their rollout strategy, these details will become clearer. Right now, all signs point to a major nationwide relief wave landing just before the holidays, delivering hope to millions who've been waiting far too long for meaningful support.
As the comeback bill enters its final phase before full rollout, the most important step beneficiaries can take right now is preparing themselves to avoid delays, misinformation, or accidental complications that could prevent their $3,200 payment from arriving on time. The government has emphasized that while the relief will be issued automatically, the accuracy of personal information stored in federal systems determines how fast each payment arrives, and the difference between receiving funds during the first wave or waiting weeks often comes down to small details like outdated bank accounts or inactive mailing addresses. That is why the first major action Americans should take is logging into their My Social Security account to confirm their direct deposit information, routing numbers, and mailing addresses, especially if they changed banks this year or moved to a new residence. A large number of payment delays during past relief programs occurred because beneficiaries forgot to update one small piece of information, triggering automatic reversals that forced the Treasury to reprocess payments manually, a procedure that can take weeks. The second essential step is staying informed exclusively through official government channels such as SSA.gov, Treasury.gov, and verified federal press releases. Scam activity always spikes during major relief announcements, with fraudsters sending out fake emails, texts, or social media messages claiming to offer early access or priority approval. Many of these scammers impersonate SSA employees and ask recipients to verify their Social Security number, bank account, or debit card information. But the government has made it absolutely clear they will never ask for personal details, fees, deposits, or payment confirmation in order to release relief checks. Anyone who receives such a message should delete it immediately and, if necessary, report it through official fraud reporting channels. The third key step is understanding the timeline, because this payment is expected to follow a structured, predictable rollout similar to regular Social Security cycles. If everything continues moving at the current pace, the first group, SSI recipients, could see their bonus payment as early as the last week of November or the first week of December. SSDI beneficiaries would receive theirs according to their standard birth date payment schedule, while veterans would expect their deposits on the same days they usually receive VA benefits. Low-income retirees and eligible taxpayers would receive their relief last, as they require more verification checks.
For many Americans, especially seniors and individuals with disabilities, this timing could not be more critical. With winter approaching and heating bills climbing, families often face some of the most expensive months of the year. Prescription drug costs, grocery prices, and transportation expenses strain budgets already stretched thin, and many households live only a few days away from financial hardship. A $3,200 relief deposit could help someone refill medications, restock groceries, repair an old car, or simply avoid falling behind on monthly bills. Meanwhile, families with children receiving SSI may use the payment to cover school needs, clothing, winter supplies, and basic household necessities that have become increasingly difficult to afford. Economists predict that beyond helping individuals, the comeback bill will create a ripple effect across communities. When beneficiaries spend in local stores, pharmacies, and service centers, it boosts local economies, supports small businesses, and increases overall economic circulation heading into the new year. Some policy analysts believe this could help stabilize consumer confidence moving into 2026, especially at a time when many Americans feel uncertain about the nation's financial direction. Behind the scenes, the Treasury and Social Security teams are running system-wide tests, checking for duplicate beneficiary profiles, resolving inconsistencies, and ensuring that payment files are properly aligned with millions of active accounts. Coordinating this massive national rollout requires extensive cross-agency communication. Both SSA and the VA are sharing updated beneficiary data to minimize errors, and Treasury system engineers are reviewing algorithms that sort and send payment batches. Their goal is to avoid the chaotic delays that occurred in previous relief programs, and instead deliver this round as smoothly as possible. Although the federal agencies are working tirelessly, beneficiaries still play a key role in protecting themselves and ensuring their payment arrives without interruption.
People who rely on paper checks should consider switching to direct deposit, which is faster, safer, and more reliable, especially during the holiday season when mail delays are extremely common. Anyone with concerns about eligibility can check their status online or contact the official SSA helpline. But federal sources estimate that the vast majority of people receiving SSI, SSDI, VA, or low-income Social Security benefits will qualify automatically. The payment will appear in the same account where they normally receive their monthly benefits, and there will be no need to apply, sign up, or request approval. This relief is fully automatic. As the nation prepares for these payments to begin, many Americans are feeling a renewed sense of hope. After years of economic challenges, pandemic disruptions, inflation spikes, rising medical costs, and increasing pressure on fixed-income households, this $3,200 relief provides something many haven't felt in a long time: breathing room. Whether the money helps someone catch up on rent, pay overdue bills, or simply enjoy a holiday season without overwhelming financial stress, the impact will be deeply felt across the country. The final stage now is simply waiting for the official payment calendar to be confirmed and released publicly, which federal sources say will happen soon. Until then, the smartest steps beneficiaries can take are staying informed, updating their information, ignoring scams, and preparing for the moment the deposit hits their account. With rollout day approaching quickly, millions of Americans may soon receive the boost they've been waiting for, one that could finally bring a sense of stability and relief as the year comes to a close.